Welcome everyone watching this video. We are Blazing C Coders and this is the presentation of our learning project, a terminal chat app built in the C programming language. Let's begin by understanding what this project is about. This project is a simple terminal chat application. Multiple users can connect to a server and chat with each other in real time. Whatever one user types, the server sends to all other connected users. This project helped us understand how real chat systems work internally. Now that the basic idea is clear, let's see the problems we aim to solve. The problem was to design and implement a multi-client chat system using C-socket programming. The system should support authentication, handle multiple clients, and at the same time deliver message reliably using TCP. To achieve this goal, we defined a few clear objectives. Our objectives were to apply C concepts like pointers, strings, arrays, structures, and functions, to learn socket programming through WinSock, understand TCP communication, use multi-threading so multiple clients can chat together, and to improve our problem-solving skills through a practical project. Now let's look at the tools and technologies we used. We used C as the programming language, WinSock 2 for networking on Windows, TCP as the communication protocol, and Visual Studio Code as the IDE. These are the modules which we have used in our project which we learnt in our class. These are algorithm and flowchart, introduction to C programming, control statements, functions, array, pointers, strings, and structure. Now the question is why we use TCP as the transport protocol. We use TCP because it ensures reliable communication. It guarantees that message reach safely, in order, and without loss, making it perfect for chat applications. We also used WinSock 2 because Windows doesn't support networking by default in C. It provides the function needed to create sockets, connect to server, and send or receive messages. So it is essential for socket programming on Windows, especially for networking and building chat applications. Now that we know the tools used, let's walk through how our server works. This server first initializes WinSock, creates a TCP socket, and binds it to an IP and port. Then it listens for clients. When a clients connect, the server checks if the limit is reached. Next, it asks for password. If the password is correct, it receives the username and creates a new thread for that client. The thread handles message, receiving, and broadcasting. When the client disconnects, the server removes that client and continues running. Similarly, here is how the client works. The client initializes WinSock, creates a socket, and connects to the server. It sends the password and username. A thread is created to always listen for messages from the server. Meanwhile, the main thread allows the user to type and send messages. When the user types \exit, it closes the connection. To implement all these, we have used a few important libraries. We used studio.h for input-output, string.h for string functions, winsock2.h for networking, windows.h for creating threads. These are some of the inbuilt macros which we used in our project. They were WinAPI, invalid socket, socket error, inadder underscore any, af underscore inet, sock underscore istream, make world 2, 2. These macros help us a lot in building the chat application. The libraries we used gave us the important functions needed for building this project. Let's take a look at them. Some of the functions which we have used are strncpy, snprintf, wssstartup, strcmp, wsagetLastError, socket, wsacleanup, bind, listen, accept, connect, send, receive, close socket, create thread, etc. The create thread function helped us run multiple clients at the same time. Apart from using these inbuilt functions, we also used some user-defined functions. They were client handler on the server to handle each client independently. It receives messages and broadcasts them. Receive handler on the client listens for message from the server continuously. Now that we have seen the main functions in our program, Let me show you a few snippets from our actual code to show how these concepts were implemented. They show how we use sockets, handled messages, broadcasted them, and stored client details. They also show how we use threads to manage multiple clients together. As you can see, handling more than one client at once is not possible without threads. So we used threading. So each client could run independently. While one client is sending messages, the server can still receive messages from other. Threads help server manage many clients without blocking. Another important part of socket programming is the sock adder underscore in structure. It stores the address family, port number, and the IP address used by the both server and client. It plays a key role in the connect and bind operations. Its size is 16 bytes. Now let's move on to how we divided the work among our members. One developed the server code, one created the client code, one implemented threading, and one added username and password authentication. Along with contributing, each of us learned something important. We understood how sockets work, how data travels over networks, how thread runs in parallel, and how to debug issues like connection failures. Now let's look at the features of our project. It supports multiple clients, real-time chat, username display, join and leave notification, password authentication, multi-threading, and reliable communication. However, like every project, this one also has a few limitations. It works only on Windows, supports only 5 clients, has no encryption, and works only in a terminal interface. These limitations lead to possible improvement in future. In future, we can add a message encryption, increase client capacity, add a graphical user interface, support Linux, and include features like file sharing. Finally, let's conclude our learning project. This project helped us understand C programming much better. We learned how sockets work, how TCP transfers message, and how threads allow multiple clients to chat together. Overall, it was a very practical and enjoyable learning experience. Thank you for watching. Your feedback is always appreciated.